Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the INNsider. We're joined today by Captain Tutu and Potato Play. If you guys haven't seen us, definitely check us all out on Twitch. But yeah, I got a lot of topics to talk about today. I mean, it's a little lighter on news than the last couple of weeks has been, which actually isn't a bad thing. I mean, we had so much to cover in the past few weeks. I mean, E3 happening 2 weeks ago, or a little less than 2 weeks ago now. Then we've had just a barrage of new news and stuff, and I think everybody kind of did their presentations and are back to work, basically trying to make sure they get our fall releases. Jack, how you doing? Welcome.
Jack. Welcome.
We got some new followers. Thank you so much, guys. Definitely appreciate it. What's up? So, man, how are you guys doing this week? First off, I haven't got to talk to everybody that much this week. It feels like
I'm doing pretty fantastic, man. I literally almost died last week of an asthma attack. So,
ooh, that's never good.
Good to not be dead.
Well, definitely.
Pretty good myself. I'm coming down off of the high of E3. I think everybody is this week. So.
Oh yeah. There was so much to cover. I mean, like,
why do I keep popping in and out of there?
I don't know. That does that sometimes. Let me actually try to fix that. 1 second. It every once in a while it like freaks out on somebody. But Captain, we'll go ahead and take our first topic today. For our big PUBG news that seems to be upsetting everybody.
I'm playing peekaboo.
So yeah, PUBG decided to put out a event pass for the Sandhawk event pass, and it's $10, right?
Yeah.
$10, I believe. But yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about it. It looks like the rewards they give out are kind of crap.
Kind of janky.
Yeah. And on top of that, the game, still needs work and stuff. And then they're trying to get people into this pass, really copying and following Fortnite. So yeah, a lot of people just aren't really happy about it or pleased about it. It seems like a weird cash grab. They definitely don't put in as much love and time into it as Fortnite does. Fortnite, they build a whole season after it. They change the map up, this and that, and there's so many new events and things and like that. This is like really like challenge based, and then you just get kind of like these basic looking skins for it. It's just whatever.
Yeah, I feel like they're going down a really bad path with that game, man. Like, it's such a competitive market right now because there's all these new battle royales that are coming out, and most of them are free. And you've got games like Fortnite, that are like, it's like you said, the battle pass there is just so superior.
Yeah,
there's great items in it. Like, I hardly ever play Fortnite, but I almost always want to grab the battle pass when it comes out because like it's just worth it,
Yeah, and the deals are always really, really solid on it too. I mean, yeah, it's all cosmetic items, but I'm like, so the PUBG run brings it out. It's less than 30 days long, which is already kind of a weird thing. It's $10, which is pretty cheap. Like, it's about the standard price, I think, of battle passes, right? I think the normal Fortnite battle pass is $10 if you don't get the special, upgraded version. $10. Same thing with Rocket League. Actually, the Rocket League finally just released their pack prices and everything else for their DLC, which is also an interesting thing. But it's kind of lackluster in terms of everything else. And the problem, I mean, the only nice thing I think that came out of it is all of those items aren't tradable on the Steam Marketplace. That's the only benefit. It's the only reason people are going to keep it and do it, because it's exclusive items that they can't sell on there. And that also discourages a lot of the cheaters and stuff like that. So that's a different one. And I hope volumes are a little bit better. They should be. I cranked everybody back up quite a bit. Apparently they were really low on my end.
They said it was better. People can hear us, I think, now. Hopefully.
I still don't understand why you're popping in and out, though. Like, it's weird.
I'm playing peekaboo, man. Peekaboo.
It'd be funny you did it and it actually takes you out for a second.
I know, right?
Oh, man. But yeah, like, I am excited, though, on the fact that there is a new map to play on PUBG. Like, this is something I think that PUBG really did need, though, is a smaller map, so everybody didn't feel like it was Running Simulator. In fact, half the time, whenever I ask my friends to play, they're all like, oh, we're going to go play Running Simulator again, huh? I'm like, no, we're not playing Running Simulator. But the size of the Sandhawk map is actually the same size as the, if not, it may be even a little bit smaller than the Fortnite map. So it's substantially smaller. Action happens faster.
Smaller than a Fortnite map.
Yeah.
So a little bit smaller. It feels like it's bigger, or it feels like it's really big because of how the density of stuff. But like, you could literally get from one place to the other in less than a minute.
Without a car?
Yeah, and you don't even need a car really in this map. Like, really? In fact, cars get you killed more often than not because they're so loud and they give you away so much. It's just ridiculous.
Well, apparently it's on sale for the first time, huh? I might have to jump in and actually give it a shot. I just like, there's so many free, great battle royale games out there. It's like, why do I want to spend money on one? Yeah,
at this point, like, if they had made the free to play announcement and had done the event pass after that, I think more people would have been obliged to do it. Or if they had,
but it'll never be free to play, right?
It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
With all the competition they got going on, they should be.
Well, especially the fact that the game is, even after the official release, it's still not polished. In fact, I was actually surprised. I booted it up, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday, and they've actually introduced more bugs since the last time I played. Last time I played, it was actually really smooth. Like, it got a lot better, and I was like, wow, they're actually working on this pretty heavily. But then all of a sudden I realized, like, wow, this is like kind of jittery again. Like, the performance has gone down a little bit. Like, what? This is not what I should be seeing a couple months later. Like, I should be seeing this doing the opposite, in fact.
You know, I don't know. Maybe we could even, I think we've talked about it in previous streams. I know we're a little bit light on this show. But man, that's just something that seems to be like these games that come out these days, they want to be like this never-ending sandbox where they're always updating the game all the time. And like, sometimes it works out good, and then other times they'll do some update that's just complete garbage, you know? And it's just happening all the time. Like, I'm a little frustrated because Realm Royale just did a patch, and I know that it's still in an early alpha, and they have a lot of things that they're still trying to do to that game. But they like completely changed a lot of the fundamentals of the game. Like, you can't forge your stuff at your weapon at the forge anymore.
Yeah, you have to find it.
Like, yeah, it's super RNG based now. And like in the last 2 days, I haven't found my class weapon one time on the map.
So that was the thing too. Like, so another oddball change that I happened to run into in a match that I was playing on Friday night is that you can actually, if you find your legendary weapon and then find another one or kill somebody that has the other, you can equip 2 of them.
You can equip 2 of them?
Really?
So I was playing as the mage, and I had 2 mage staffs. You have no idea. I made it all the way to 3rd place. I only got killed because of an assassin I didn't see behind me. I was like practically unstoppable with that thing.
Well, that seems broken.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I mean, the mage staff out of all of the weapons is probably the lightest weapon because it's only 5 shots, 5 spray shots, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it just got a nerf though too with this most recent update, because after they patched it, like the patch before that, they gave it a buff, and it was just so stupid nasty. Like, it just wrecked. So they nerfed it, which was good in hindsight, because like, I think mage has probably the best abilities in the game right now. Plus, when they buffed her staff up, she had the best weapon, so it was just stupid. Everybody was playing mage.
That was a first too, because like the mage initially was not very good. Like, I mean, she has good abilities. She has pretty solid abilities to get you around and do stuff, but
she was lackluster that first week for sure.
Yeah, and then because I mean, a lot of people still play the assassin just for the simple fact that he can blink. He has a blink ability.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets you out of so many sticky situations. It's not even funny. Same with the warrior. Like the warrior being able to just hop out. Now the engineer is not another thing. He just hops up, and you're just kind of like, okay, I'll wait for you in a second.
The engineer is actually in a pretty good spot right now, though. Too, like he's pretty strong, but doesn't feel too overpowered. You know?
Yeah, and I like his legendary weapon the best, to be honest, because you could peep people around corners and stuff like that if they're hiding around them. You know, the windowsill or inside, you could just go and shoot in and splash damage.
So.
Yeah, that little splash damage there, then it makes it a lot better.
People are still saying we're a little silent, unless that was.
Oh no, that was earlier.
Volume. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was earlier.
You guys just aren't chatting.
In other news, we got some of the big news this week for Xbox was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is now available on Xbox backwards compatibility, which is kind of cool. I'm like that program, you know, I thought it was like, oh, just another backwards compatibility. I'm like, no, they're optimizing it for the Xbox One and then allowing you to download it directly, which is fantastic. Or if you have the actual disc, you just pop the disc in and you can play it. It just downloads the game for you and just does a disc validation if you own it or not. So, but that was pretty cool. I kind of want to go back and visit that because that was a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite Call of Duty.
Glossed over one small fact though with that PUBG event pass. Did I just read this right? That players aren't happy because it offers players more items regardless of if they bought the pass or not. Oh,
so that was actually a mistype. They changed that afterwards. Let me fix that. So what they did is after the outrage for the players, we actually didn't even talk about this either. After the outrage for players, they actually offered people who didn't have the pass free items. So you could earn, I think it's 2 outfits or something. I can't remember what the exact thing was. Let's see if I have it in here.
Is it like a thing where like Fortnite has the free pass and then that you could also get the battle pass and there's like a couple small items you can get with the free pass?
No, there's no, this is different. This is away from the pass. So in lieu of the pass coming out, people were upset the pass was even existed. So they're like, oh, okay, well, sorry guys, like here's some free items you can earn without the pass, and they gave us like I think it was a jacket and a mask. I think it's in here in the advertisement, but it's just oof.
Oh my gosh, dude, that does seem like such a cash grab. Why are they doing that? Like, you're already charging people for this game that generally this genre of game right now is all coming out free to play, and then you're gonna charge people to get extra items to get stuff. Like, man, if I'm paying for a game, I want all the items that are in the game.
Yeah,
that should be available to you, like to unlock.
Yeah, that's a big problem with games today. Like finding that balance between like if it's free to play, like I want to I want to support, especially if it's good. I want to be able to pay constantly for these items, these cosmetics. If it's like a full $60 game, $30 whatever, there should be stuff in there that is sort of guaranteed to me almost, for paying that initial price.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
Like
whatever happened to paying it for a complete game and actually getting the whole game.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's been the kind of the thing we've talked about on and off the past few weeks is like developers just don't do that anymore. It's just like, why, guys? Why?
The industry's so competitive right now, dude. And then I think like when Fortnite came out free to play and it's so good and so many people started playing it, like they've sent some trimmers through the industry.
Well, that's not even just that. I mean, they actually barely made a splash when they first announced the Battle Royale mode. Everybody's like, PUBG's better because it's more realistic. And nobody took it seriously for probably the first 5 months at least. Right. And then Ninja picks it up and becomes this big streamer off of it. And then boom, it explodes everywhere because everybody's talking about Ninja and his Fortnite and then Drake. And then, these culmination of events that just kept happening one after the other that just doing it. And then at the same time,
I think it's just so unique too. Like it was such a unique idea to have a shooter game where you can literally build cover anywhere you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
And that's also, for me, I don't know. I speak for myself on this one, but like that's become one of the most frustrating parts of that game too, because like I had somebody go and then just want to 1v1, and then all of a sudden he just builds a fucking fortress around me and kills me. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, and I've been playing Fortnite a lot less, and I've never really played it a ton, but like I play it less and less just because like they put too much emphasis on the building, and like there's no skill gap in the gunplay because it's all RNG, and the bloom is so crazy in it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But that's where the skill gap is in that game, is in the building.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you don't know how to build, it's going to be really tough for you. You're gonna,
You're gonna have
to rely on luck.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most challenging things in that game for sure. One of the other
that's why I've been enjoying Realm so much, just because like the shooting actually makes a difference. Like if you can aim, you're gonna do better, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas in Fortnite, like you can just spray and you may hit your shots and you may not. So
Yeah. Even with like, you know, your golden scar, I mean, you still only do so good with it.
mm-hmm.
But since the news of E3 with Beyond Good and Evil 2 getting a little bit more traction, they finally announced that they're going to be having a beta at the end of next year. I'm a little sad about this because I'm like, that's even further. Like they've been teasing Beyond Good and Evil 2 for 3 years now.
Why the hell would they announce a beta so far ahead of when they're gonna have it?
I think it's
a
because
long time away.
it's like saying, you know, hey, we're not going to be doing anything soon for this here. We're just wait till then. So it means that we're looking at like a 2020 date. Like, but this is another game, man. Like, they're just going to take forever to release it. Just like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's not going to be due until the end of next year or later. If they don't.
I wonder how many games like this are going to, like, if they're going to move into next gen or if they're going to be cross gen. I feel like this and Cyberpunk might be cross gen because they're kind of going to be on that gap between, you know, now and next.
Yeah,
year.
they're going to be following in that 2020 timeline, which is going to be start of the new era for, or be expecting the new consoles by then. So I don't know. Like I mean, it'd be cool if they just made it PC only and just said forget everybody else. But that's just me. I know not everybody has a PC either. But yeah, man, it's getting to be kind of crazy with like some of these announcements coming back so far with some of these other things too. It's just MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries got delayed into 2019, which I'm kind of sad about. We did just get
such a long delay, man.
Well, the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then MechWarrior's getting pushed into 2019. It was originally slated to come out this fall, but I think it was just too soon, which is kind of weird because a lot of people are getting confused with MechWarrior and BattleTech. They're technically out of the same universe. They're just two different lines of games.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. Like, you know, there's MechWarrior, then you have MechWarrior Online.
It's kind of more like strategy based, isn't it?
Yeah. So this one's offering, the MechWarrior 5 is offering a single player experience. It was at some point a like an RTS style or, you know, strategy type game, but it moved into something else. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this with the Rocket League coming in at $10, which is actually not a bad deal, but it's also another game that you pay for and then now you're having to pay again. But it's also not too far different from what they do with all their DLC. Like, I used to keep up with the Rocket League stuff, and I would buy all the cosmetic packs and stuff for it because they were pretty cheap. They were $5, $4 or $5, and you got a bunch of stuff out of it. But they've been doing that so consistently. I'm so behind on them now, and now they're offering a battle pass to do even more cosmetics. I'm like, geez, guys.
So I feel like, you know, like you always get into the conversation like when you're talking about microtransactions where it's like, oh, it's a slippery slope, right? I remember reading about it like back in Destiny, like in Destiny 1 when they started really introducing like more microtransactions, and people are like, oh, it's a slippery slope, and back then I was like, you know what, whatever, I actually love this game, I'll pay extra for a little bit of extra content and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then boom, next thing you know, they start like taking stuff out of the loot pool and making it only available in the microtransaction store. And then you kind of start to see what people are saying about how it is a slippery slope, you know, because like there's a line that goes from good game that even if I paid money for it, I'd still spend extra to get cosmetic stuff, to like egregious, you know, like
when it becomes just dirty
on your customer's wallet, you know, like
this,
like Destiny 2 when it, yeah.
I mean, Destiny still has that problem mostly because of just the fact of the deal. They have a DLC problem. They don't have a microtransactions problem. Their microtransactions are pretty reasonable. You get them and you get cosmetics.
Lack of content problem.
Yeah, they have a lack of content problem, but then when they do give you content, they're like, oh, by the way, it's going to be another $20. Or maybe 40 for the case of the season pass, or 70 in the case of the new DLC, standalone DLC between the two passes and the pass itself.
Right. And the problem with that was that like they started taking stuff that used to be in the loot pool out of it and making it only available in the microtransaction store. So like sparrows and you know, stuff like that you used to get from like you used to get them in raids and stuff, and then when D2 came out, there you couldn't even get sparrows, and there was no like custom sparrow in the raids or anything. It's like, what the hell?
I have experience though. You can only get exotics through finding them randomly. You can't get them in the microtransaction store or the raids so far that I've seen. At least since I've been
like the exotic emotes and stuff like that.
No, the exotic sparrows in specific.
Oh yeah.
Like those I've only found like randomly in engrams and stuff. I haven't gotten them from like the prismatic ones that you could pay money for or find randomly and stuff like that. Which is kind of cool that you can find those too. You don't have to pay for them. You could randomly, like, you go out and do like world events and you'll find, you know, random prismatic shards, which are the equivalent of the microtransaction version of engrams.
Right.
So there is some balance there. They've gotten better about it. Like, I definitely see, like, I'm going back and I'm like, okay, I see that it's an alright game now. So let me go back and see what the problem was, because I didn't play it when it was going through the problems or the growing pains that everybody was so upset about. And it's gotten substantially better now, like to the point where me and my brother are playing it pretty consistently. I'm leveling my Titan now because I did a Warlock all the way up to basically be raid ready and then going from there.
I heard that the quality of life improvements have made it better. Just like, because it was like, so like you could do a strike and get lucky to be able to pop your super once, you know, but I've heard that now, like, you're going to get your super 4 or 5 times when you're doing a strike.
Oh, easily now, yeah. Like, I think, and especially they have so many more pieces of gear that generate extra light orbs that you can do it every minute or two now, basically. If you get on those, like, if your whole squad's got basically masterwork gear, or masterwork weapons especially, like, every other kill is generating a light orb. And then in some of these things, you know, you're facing 20, 30 enemies at once. Boom, there's a special for everybody right there.
Yeah. I've played a little bit here and there over the last couple of weeks, just jumping in. I don't have the new DLC, but I'm going to probably jump back into it when Forsaken comes out. I can't believe they're killing Cade 6, dude. I can't believe they're killing Cade, man.
Everybody's pretty upset about that. I'm wondering if he's going to come back at all. Like, because it didn't look like he had his light still. Because, like, none of the new Guardians have their light still, or the old Guardians.
I don't think so. I read an article that said, like, nope, he's dead. They're literally killing him dead.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Which is interesting because, like, so, and I could see the idea behind it, because they wanted to move away from like cheesy one-liner type, you know, type of content, which they've kind of started to become pretty notorious for, but Cade is the only character that has any substance in the game, like as far as the story goes.
Yeah, like in terms of anything funny, I mean, Nathan Fillion is a fantastic actor. Like, he's still one of my favorite in terms of comedy, because the guy has just got like this kind of charisma you don't see anymore. Like, other than, you know, like you used to see it in Dane Cook until he got too cynical, or Ryan Reynolds is the only other one that I can think of that has any kind of personality in terms of that type of comedy. But Nathan Fillion with the sarcasm. Yeah, like in terms of like pure sarcasm, like Nathan Fillion nails it, and he's got like such a good like tone when he does it too, that it brings out like, it makes me laugh every time. Even when I play through the normal story, like I laugh every time I hear his lines.
See, I always liked Cade because like I always felt like Destiny was always a real serious kind of game. You know, it wasn't a whole lot of cheesiness to it. But then they started like introducing Cade and giving him more lines, and it kind of like broke up the seriousness of it. You know, so like what's it gonna be now?
I feel like that would have been a much better reveal had they saved it for the Forsaken. Like, could you imagine people found out that like Cade dies like while you're playing it?
That'd have been super hype.
Yeah, instead of just throwing it out there right now, like why?
Yeah. Well, I just laughed because there was a memorial after they revealed it. Like the next day, there was a memorial outside E3, and people kept it going. They were placing like fresh flowers and new pictures and like the hunter symbol and all this other stuff. It was pretty funny.
Okay, dude.
So Ark actually announced that they're doing their final DLC, or supposedly what might be their final DLC in the expansion pass, at least for now, which is called Ark Extinction. I'm actually kind of excited about this. I mean, it's releasing Titans for the first time. Like, these things are massive. Like, you thought your T-Rex was big before. Man, this thing's like 20 times that size.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I really enjoyed Ark. I got to play a lot recently. I kind of stopped because of the lack of content and stuff, and just a lot of survival games takes a lot of time and a lot of this and that. Especially if you're on like a private server, you have to like really look after your dinosaurs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I hopped off for a month and came back, and someone took all of my stuff, like my houses and my dinosaurs. I was like, oh, okay, but I'm excited to get back for the new expansion.
That's the same thing with me and like any survival game, in fact. But my favorite one that I was having a blast in was Rust. But unless you had a private server, like, you were wasting your time because every day your stuff would get stolen or broken into. Like, me and my brother and a couple friends, we built like a fortress. I mean, we went through some crazy measures just barricading that place in, to the point where we had like small tight corridors where they couldn't just blast through the doors. Like, we made them around corners, and they had to be a small like little hallway to do it. And we were like, yeah, we created the best invention ever. They're not going to get into this. No, dude, they got into that easier than I thought. And I was like, and it was hours difference. Like, we went to bed at like 2:30 or something one night. We woke up at like 10, and it was all gone. And every door was door or wall was blasted open. And this was like using like metal or titanium walls. Like, this is like heavy duty stuff for that game. And it's just like, oh man. But that's the day that it turned off to me. I was like, you know what? I don't want to play a survival game like this on a public server again, because it's just, you spend all this time making cool stuff.
All that time and get wrecked. Yeah.
And I kind of like it when you do it with friends or do like a private server where you could like create like an RP server or something like that. Like,
pretty curious how Fallout 76 is going to play out.
Yeah,
they said they're going to have like private servers and RP servers for that as well. So that's really
so the other cool thing about that on the Fallout 76 topic was how PvP is going to work initially. So basically, you're going to have this thing that you can't attack anybody just directly randomly. They have to agree to it. Like, you have to mutually agree to actually attack each other. So you're not just...
I challenge you to a duel. I accept.
Oh, that's wonderful. What about nuke people?
That's still open. Like, you could do that still. So, I mean, that's the one thing everybody wants to do. I'm pretty sure you're going to have people that are not even going to do anything in the game aside of level and try to find those codes. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, if I spend like a bunch of hours building a base and then like it gets nuked, I'm going to be so mad.
Oh, man. But at the same time, like, I don't think you're going to see the nukes that often. Like, they have to go through this whole process to find 6 codes to get it to work. Yeah. And they're not like in one place either, so you have to just randomly find them. So I don't think it'll be that often.
Players for the codes. That's actually a good point. Like, if somebody has the codes and you kill somebody, can you pick up their stuff? Yeah,
that'll be the big question once it gets a little closer. I finally got my beta code yesterday from Best Buy because I did the Power Armor Edition, so I could go pick it up that night. So I don't have to wait to...
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones that actually got it before it sold out instantly.
What, the Power Armor Edition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was up for a couple days.
Was it? I heard that it sold out literally like while like before the freaking E3, the Bethesda E3 thing was over.
Oh, no. It didn't even become available until the next morning. And then it was up for like a day or two after that, depending on where you went. Like, Amazon was pretty quick because everybody goes to Amazon for it. But like Best Buy and GameStop all had them for like up to 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
I did my Best Buy one right away just in case because I didn't want to deal with it. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to mess with that.
I'm so cautious of pre-ordering stuff these days.
Oh yeah, like it's just like anything. Pre-ordering. I mean, I wanted it at because I always get the Fallout Collector's Editions. Anytime a Fallout game comes out, I'm getting that Collector's Edition. Like the last one, I got the Pip-Boy version in the crate, which was really cool for Fallout 4, and that was a lot of fun. I actually used it as like a thing at my work. I displayed at my work because it has a nice little stand. So you could take it out of the box and put it on the stand.
Nice. Very nice.
So one of the other big things that seems to be like a big controversy this week, and it's kind of an oddball topic, but it relates to gaming because there's apparently now gaming has become a gaming disorder in heavy doses, which I thought was kind of stupid overall because it's not a disease, it's not really a disorder. It's like anything else, you can become addicted to it. Yes, yeah, addiction is real.
The dumbest thing
Addiction
about this is that
real,
you can like really put anything in there and replace gaming, and it could be the same thing. So
Yeah.
it's really pointless.
It's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me, dude. Like, come on, gaming disorder? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, like anything's a disorder. Fucking driving is a disorder. People that like, there's people that get like,
if you're playing games too much, and you're losing your job and your girlfriend and your whole life because you spend too much time playing games, you have you have a disorder, but it's not a fucking gaming disorder, dude. Like,
no, that's an addiction.
You have like maybe an obsessive, compulsive disorder or something to where like, you know. The other thing is too, like, they'll be telling kids, they'll be diagnosing kids with gaming disorder, but then they'll also diagnose them with ADD at the same time. Wait a second, you telling me these kids can't pay attention, but then they pay attention for 12 hours at a time on a video game? Get out of here.
Right? Yeah. So I have a feeling it's either gonna be blown over in the medical industry, or they're gonna actually do too much about it, and it's gonna create all kinds of different problems. Really. Like, because they'll start putting them on medications and stuff like that to balance them out. Like, balance them out for what? That's not a... Gaming is not, it's an addiction, not a... Like, I always see it as an addiction. Like, just like anything else. Like, you can become addicted to soda. You can be addicted to food. You can be addicted to...
But it's not the same, though. Like, if you're addicted to cigarettes and you try to quit cigarettes, like, you fucking hate life while you're going through those withdrawals and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
And, like, people who are addicted to heroin have freaking seizures and... Like, there's literal, like, things with addiction that are really hard that people have to overcome. Gaming is not one of them. Like, if you're losing your life to gaming, stop playing games, dumbass.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I get it with some little kids. Like, I mean, most of them, part of the reason why they did this, too, and I saw, it was a thing on, like, CNN or something the other night.
Bathtub, you're right, too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah. It's
right, though. They're probably just trying to sell more drugs to people, man.
Yeah, and that's also a whole other industry problem that, But the reason they came out into this is they took 10 kids under the age of 15 that were heavily playing Fortnite. Mm-hmm. This is why Fortnite keeps coming up in the big topics these days. And these kids were having like tantrums and hissy fits and getting violent and stuff because they didn't have Fortnite to play. And they diagnosed it based on these, like, 10 or 15 random kids that were under the age of 15 that just basically their parents didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that sounds like stupid-ass parenting to me. That's not a freaking gaming disorder.
My mom would kick my... Like, if she told me to get off the video game and I didn't, she would kick my ass, dude. I'd be getting a whooping.
That happened to me where, I'm not going to lie, that's pretty much the same thing happened to me. One time I got my ass kicked. The second time it happened, she told me, "Oh, get off, you got to do the dishes." Okay. I'll be out there in 10 minutes. Get off and do the dishes. All right, I'll get there too. And she's like, all right, that's it. She comes in, she goes and grabs my PlayStation 2 because I was playing SOCOM Online and just smashes it in front of me. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to do the dishes now.
Back when I was a little kid, dude, I remember I had been spending so much time on games, and it was like that where I was like back talking to my mom and stuff, dude. And she took, like, I used to have boxes and boxes of NES games. I had so many Nintendo games, dude. And one day she just took my games and she went outside and she just started smashing them on the sidewalk, dude. I was like, no! Just freaking out, man. But, like, yeah, that's bad parenting, dude. If your kids are spending that much time. And there's adults doing it, too. So don't get me, like, it's not just kids. Like, there's adults that are, like, not handling their responsibilities and stuff just so they can play video games and shit. Like
and that's the difference too. Fun, like WoW, for example, was a bad one back. Like WoW back in the day was a bad one where people were going and getting divorced and ending relationships and stuff over World of Warcraft, which actually turned out to be a real thing. But that was an addiction problem they addressed. So that was different back then. I mean, it's the same type of thing. I mean, in fact, World of Warcraft still to this day is the biggest relationship ender in terms of gaming that has ever existed. Like, no joke, there was something like over like 700,000 separate cases of like dissolved marriages and breakups because of World of Warcraft alone.
That's just the thing though. Like, if you're into gaming and you have a significant other who's not into gaming, they will never understand why you spend so many hours gaming. Yeah. They just never will.
No, you could describe it. You could try to get them into it. It's never the same.
Yep, exactly. I could, like, if I was even a big streamer making a bunch of money streaming, my girlfriend still would probably be like, "Why do you spend so much time playing video games? Come and hang out with me." You know?
You're like, babe, for the love of God, it's paying the bills.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like that might be in fact, the only way she would ever understand why I spend so many hours playing video games. But it's like,
You had to see like
the
the actual proof on paper, you know.
right. Exactly, right. You just ignoring me, asshole.
Yeah. So another big thing that came out after E3 was Xavier, or it turned out to be a leak. I had no idea because they put it out on their official media, social media, but I think it was after the leak. The Calling 2 was announced, and now people are really concerned about it because the first game did pretty poorly. Like, it did great initially, but they did too many knee-jerk responses for balancing. This is actually a game I paid very close attention to because I loved it. I love the design of it. I love the style of it. I love the sarcastic humor of it. In fact, like, some of my best clips on my own YouTube are from The Calling, like killing your friends, and the guy's like, "You killed your friend! How could you do that?"
You're a TV star, aren't you? Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's all good.
The Calling, I had a buddy that actually was kicking ass, dude. And then what happened to that game?
So they stopped working on it because they wanted to work on new projects, and apparently the new project is The Calling 2. But I'm like, why wouldn't you tell people that that's what was coming instead of being like, "Hey, we're gonna release a sequel"? I think maybe they did it for the same reason that people are upset about it now. Is like, we're releasing a sequel, surprise. Wait, everybody's like, well, what happened to why didn't you just continue working on the first game? Right. And now everybody's like, well, so what's going to happen with this one? Are you guys just going to work on it for a little bit? Like, the brand trust is gone now. I feel like you lose a lot of trust. Like, I've lost a lot of trust personally in Xaviant. Like, I really liked him initially. But the problem is, like I said, they did too many knee-jerk responses one after the other to balancing changes that it never fit. You never fixed one issue without giving it two more in its place. And that was their problem. They'd fix one issue, introduce two more.
That sucks. That sucks, man. That's the worst, dude. That's one of the drawbacks to like development, man.
So now,
like, it's just hard to introduce new things without introducing a bug sometimes.
Oh yeah, easy. And then the nice thing is in their statement, they're saying that they're not going to be releasing Calling 2 as an early access title. So that's number one. That's a huge thing, because Calling 1 barely made it out of early access, and then it was left alone. Like, they finally released it, did their big house update, and that was it. Like, that's all you got. And they did some bug fixes after that, and that was it. They completely stopped working on it. And
it's just like the weirdest, most unnecessary sequel to me. Like, when I heard this news, I was just like, what?
No, and they had like a perfect system going with this one too. Like, they could have just actually, taken a step back and worked everything in sprints and actually fixed stuff. But instead, they're like, well, we're just going to scrap this and start working on another game. I don't know if it was because of engine issues or if there's maybe some underlying problem that we don't know about. That's the only thing I can imagine.
Like, when it comes to development, I can only see like scrapping a whole game like that if there's like some serious bottlenecks in your development process, or maybe somebody writes some new engine that's just way better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it doesn't make sense to stay on what you're currently on. But that's unfortunate. I had a buddy of mine who was actually starting to do really good with his Twitch channel, doing the Calling, and then they stopped supporting it, and his channel just went.
I might have known who was it.
It's Baggins TV. He's,
yeah, I remember it. Yeah, he was
actually doing really good again now.
Yeah,
he's starting to. He's kicking ass in Realm Royale. He's been playing it for a couple months. He's like fucking stupid. He should just change his name to Crown Royale TV because he like wins every match.
Jeez. But yeah, like I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I'm gonna be a little hesitant if they charge for it initially. Like, if they put it out free to play and put some microtransactions for cosmetics, because they did great on their cosmetics. Their cosmetic packs were fantastic. I loved them because they were actually meaningful, like actual changes in your look. Like, they were fun, they were different. You could make it totally unique for you. But if they make it free to play and then add microtransactions, I think that's the only way anybody's going to be trusting that brand or even giving it a shot. Because if they charge money for it, everybody's going to be like, well, you charged us before. Why would we give you money again? So it kind of comes up to that whole thing.
Conan and refunded later. Sorry, I'm just reading chat randomly.
Yeah. No, and Conan was another one too. Like it was really bad initially too, and then they finally fixed everything. It's substantially better than when it first launched. Like night and day better than when it first launched. Now, granted, everybody's like, "Oh, there's a lack of content." I'm like, no, like Conan really relies or is heavily set to do RP more so than anything else, which is more player-driven story content. Just like a lot of the other survival games, like you can't really rely on the content there. Like getting new stuff is cool, but a lot of the real stories in those games are all coming from the RP and some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Star Citizen? Oh, you're not. No, we're not talking about Star Citizen. God, like, and that was another thing. We haven't brought it up because it's not a topic for our show, but there was a battle between CCP Games and Robert Half Industries, or not Robert Half, the Star Citizen makers, and that was a big, interesting controversy. They talked about it on some of the other shows here on INN, but that
Robert Half, they get me jobs sometimes for web development.
I was gonna say, I was like Robert Half. I always mix it up because it's like almost the same name, so it just gets me. Going on to further news, we got some new cool updates for Life is Strange 2, which I'm really excited about.
I still haven't even played the first one.
I know I haven't finished the first one, yeah, but I need to go through and play them all here soon because I have now the Steam sale's out. I could get Before the Storm, so I'll play Before the Storm, then I'll play Life is Strange 1, and then hopefully by the time 2 comes out, which is 3 months away from now, like it'll be pretty interesting. So I think I'm going to be kind of focusing on that again here soon. But Life is Strange 2 looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited. Really surprised, like out of nowhere, fucking announcement though, like, and it's coming quick too. Like, I don't think anybody. I mean, I didn't know about Life is Strange 2 before this. Did you guys?
I honestly only knew about Life is Strange, the original game, like for the first time a couple of weeks ago. So
they said they were working on it. And I kind of expected to hear something this year. But like, me and you were talking about, this would have been a great announcement at the Square Enix conference.
Oh yeah.
They announced it a week later, which is really dumb. But
like that would have changed it. Like they could have announced, like the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit and then done Life is Strange 2 right after that, and it would have made a night and day difference in their conference. But instead, they had this crappy little 20-minute conference that everybody was upset about afterwards because it was just so stupid.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. Captain Spirit comes out next week, and then they're opening pre-orders for Life is Strange next week, and then they said that Captain Spirit will tie into the sequel. So really excited to see how that will tie in, such and such. So.
See, I can't be. I tend to shade things I don't care about. No, don't trust me. We throw shade at a lot of stuff too. Like there are some things that just gamers in general are just upset about. It doesn't matter what you play. Like just like the Xaviant thing for Culling, we were just like, it's a cool game, but those developers are so stupid.
Yeah.
But
shareholders too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Shareholders a lot of times like causing all these egregious freaking things to happen that pisses gamers off, but then also the developers are like allowing it to happen.
Sometimes I don't think they have a choice. I think they get strong-armed into it, like especially in the Activision part, like Activision, Bungie. Like we know Bungie is better at it than they're doing now, but I think it's Activision just shoving it through them. I mean, look what happened with Call of Duty Black Ops. The new Black Ops is coming out. It was announced that it wasn't getting a season pass. And then a week and a half later, they're like, you're only getting a season pass that you can only get stuff in the season pass if you buy the whole thing. You can't buy it in bits like you could before. You got to buy the whole thing. It's all or nothing, and that's it. That's how we solve our fragmentation issue. I'm like, no, you announce it for free, and then charge for cosmetics. You fucks, you don't learn. Like, come on.
Well, they're gonna start like $60 for the base game, and then you're gonna have to pay $20 if you want the story mode, and then if you want the battle royale mode, you're gonna have to pay $20. And I know there's not even a story mode in it.
No, it's $60 for the game and then $50 for the stupid pass. Like, come on, guys, $110 paywall. Yeah, $110 for your paywall to get in your fucking game. Yeah, granted, you don't have to buy it right away, but
think about it, like that's kind of how a lot of these AAA titles release too. Like, look at Destiny, for example. Like, Destiny launched as a $60 game, and then there's 2 DLCs that you could buy.
Yeah, $20 each, or $40 for the pass, or $25 each.
It's a lot of money to get into a game that's not even fucking complete.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, it comes down to And this is where I'm surprised their marketing departments don't get into them. It's like, guys, you're kind of devaluating brand trust. Now, what is 90% of marketing? I don't know if you guys have ever taken marketing classes, but that's what the first thing they go is they want to build your brand trust. Like, okay, how do you build your brand trust? Release a product that people want at a price that's affordable. Okay, Activision's like, well, let's release this, and we're going to give them all this extra content. It's going to be great quality content. That's why we're charging you this much. Then you get it, and you're like, broski, that wasn't the same deal that we were talking about here. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, we've bashed on Activision, I think, every week a little bit for the past couple
always
weeks.
Gotta get in my Destiny disses and stuff like that. So
Me too, man. Like, and for me, it's not because like I hate Bungie or even Destiny for that matter. It's the me throwing shade at Activision and especially in regards to Destiny is because I fucking love Destiny. Like, I played the game so much, spent like 3,000 hours on the first one, and still feel ripped off after the second one. You know, so it's like, I'm a little bit passionate about it. It was supposed to be my WoW, dude. Like, I shouldn't even be worried about other games right now. I should just be full on grinding the shit out of Destiny like I did in the first game.
And that's
I have no desire to do.
And that's what people do with some of these games. Like, they'll go and main game only like certain games. Like, I know people that go and main Fortnite or main Counter-Strike or main Tree of Savior, like Tanichi, for example, or, you know, PUBG or whatever have you. And they forget that other games even exist because the game is so good to them, you know? But when you get games like stuff like happens like Destiny.
That's a good way to go about it, man.
That is true.
Like, wait until the games are like almost completely done. They're like close to the end of their life cycle. Because like Destiny, again, I hate to keep picking on them, but that's the perfect example, you know. Now that it's been out for a while and they're about to come out with like their whatever third DLC, like, now the game's fun again, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I knew it was gonna be that way. I freaking knew it, you know. Like,
yeah, and
Destiny 1 was the same way.
And I'm wholeheartedly glad that I waited to get it when it was on the $12 Humble Bundle deal. And then a week later, after the Humble Bundle deal released, they released a DLC for $17.
I'm so mad at that Humble Bundle shit, dude. I look at the page and it's like, in June, if you subscribe, you get Destiny 2. And I'm like, hey, that's great. I can get Destiny 2 for PC because I only have it on PS4. I can pick it up on PC for $12. Boom, I do it. Nope, you get Hearts of Iron and freaking Portal Knights.
Yeah, they really need to address that problem. That is still a legitimate problem with them.
About it. Yeah.
No, it should be saying like players got these games in June, at the beginning of June. Right. And like, they don't tell you like when the dates are for anything. Like, if they explain that whole process better, it would be so much better for them.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, because I'm like, I almost feel like maybe I should keep this $12 subscription, but I don't know, because I thought I was supposed to get more than just 3 games as well for this, because it looks like in June people got a bunch of games, but I'm only seeing these 3 games that are available now, which is Black Wake, which is still in an early alpha phase or beta or something like that.
Oh, it's early. It's just early. It's early access. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. It's a lot of fun still. It's basically, if you wanted to play Sea of Thieves with more seriousness, that's basically what Black Wake is.
Right. Yeah, I messed around with it a little bit. It does seem kind of fun. But still, though, it's like, I thought there were supposed to be more games for the subscription. Also,
oh no, you do. It's on the 3rd of every month when you get the full package. So you get the first 3, the early unlock, and then you get the full rest on the 3rd of every month.
And they just don't tell you what it's going to be then.
Yeah, it's a surprise every time. So most of the time, your headlining games are usually going to be about the best ones, and then you'll get some that are good, like hit or miss. Like, some months are really good, some months are not. Like, I've had it for over a year now.
With what's on there now. I haven't played that Portal Knights game, but it just doesn't look like a game I'm going to really get into.
Yeah, there's some things like that. And the next...
that history war strategy game looks kind of interesting, but not really something I'd spend a lot of time on.
Hearts of Iron is really fun. It's got a really steep learning curve at first. It's fun. It's really fun once you get into it, like any Paradox game. Like Stellaris is my favorite. It looks kind of
fun because you could almost do like some crazy like alternate history, like alternate war history and shit.
Oh, easy, yeah. I mean, like, out of all the Paradox games, Stellaris is my favorite by far because it's just simple to get into. It doesn't take a whole lot of learning to get into it. Like, learning the nitty-gritty, yeah, it takes a little bit, but far, far easier of a learning curve than Hearts of Iron is.
Yeah, hey, Empanada, you're right about that, too. Part of the problem is that, like, And it's like why I was just saying, like, I'm so hesitant to pre-order games these days, you know? Like, um, we do support these developers and encourage these publishers and developers to keep doing this crap to us because we keep paying for it. We keep giving them our money, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been a couple times where it's like really fell through, where they really pissed off players enough. Like Battlefront 2 was the perfect example. They pissed off players enough to where like, fuck your game, we're not buying it.
Yeah.
And essentially that game has not done as good since launch. Even after they've fixed a lot of the things, everything that was wrong with it that everybody complained about, they fixed it, and players are still like, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if there wasn't such a backlash in the Destiny 2 community and they didn't see their player base falling off so much, they wouldn't be putting in quite the effort that they've been doing over the last few months to make that game better either.
Yeah.
And they'd still be trying to like do all this stupid microtransaction bullshit, you know, it'd probably be getting worse. So at least the community has been, like, gaming communities have been able to come together and push back on some of that, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's been a little while since we've reported any actual Fortnite news aside of their shopping carts getting taken out back and forth repeatedly in the past couple weeks. Like, it seems like they can't get the shopping carts right for whatever reason. Like, it's gone down. They've brought the servers down or taken them out and put them back in. Like, I think what's 5 times now at least, because the shopping carts in specific keep breaking things.
Yeah.
But they're kind of hinting at the new season 5 battle pass, which started to look kind of interesting. Got a bunch of stuff that looks like it's been coming more so on the superhero part, our secret layers and stuff like that. They're kind of doing that with some of the layers, the skins, stuff like that. You're kind of seeing it creep about and seeing little hints of it, which is going to be kind of interesting.
I gotta say, I don't know what their marketing team over there at Epic Games is all about, but they kind of kick ass, dude. Like, they are really good at hyping up their freaking updates, dude.
Yeah.
They kill it with that. Like, so many, like, people were so fucking hyped for the season 4 to come out, dude, with like all the new stuff and the meteor and like how they hyped that shit up, and then like the little meteorites would come down like before the season to like you knew something big was gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
That's just so good. And like, it's crazy because I don't play the game a whole lot and it's not like my favorite game, but I never cease to be impressed with how they're handling that game, doing things and moving it forward.
Yeah, and then so like the new hints now are if you go into the superhero bases that you find randomly around the map now, and in those there's now a countdown in every single one of the bases. Like, there's a new countdown window. That's the new hint towards the next season. So I think we have less than a month left before they come about, but it's going to be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, because there's like rocket silos and
yep.
shit, huh?
Every one of the bases is a rocket silo to some degree. So that should have been really the first hint, but nobody paid attention. They're like, oh, it's just a superhero base that's happened to be uncovered when the meteors hit. No, like that's the next season. They're already setting up already. So I thought that was kind of cool. A little bit of today's like top story, which it's taking us a little bit to get to today, is the big news that happened. I think it was yesterday or no, Friday, where Microsoft and Nintendo said, hey, Minecraft is coming to Switch. Let's play together. And kind of just throwing the whole crossplay in there again and just rocking people with that. It's cool. Like, that's really cool. Like, they're fully embracing crossplay and making fun of Sony a tremendous amount in the process.
They're gonna end up forcing Sony to open it up. I bet you anything, dude. At some point, they're gonna have no choice. And now that games are starting to do this cross-platform stuff, man, I feel like moving forward, it's just going to be the way that it goes. Because as consoles get better, and then, like, for example, you take we're still talking about Fortnite, I guess, but like you take like Epic Games' decision to put mouse and keyboard support directly in their console version of the game. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, I just feel like moving forward, we're all going to be able to play games with each other. Where like I'm playing on my phone and Captain's playing on his PC, and Rune's playing on his PlayStation, and like everybody's all happy, and we're frolicking through the fields with unicorns and shit.
Yeah, Tanishi, no, it's always been Sony that's never wanted it. Microsoft's been heavily trying to do it for a long time now. Like, especially with their first party titles, they immediately activate crossplay between the PC and Xbox right away, and they've always been open to it. And it's always been Sony that said no.
Yeah, like trying to put myself in Sony's shoes, I think like they see it as like greed and ego almost, because you know Xbox is really behind this generation. You know, they started off with the Connect TV, sports this, sports that, always online. They really like shot themselves in the foot. So you know, Xbox is really trying to play catch up. Nintendo, you know, no one really liked the Wii U. A few people did, but and you know, the Switch is just booming right now, and so you know they're trying to catch up with the Switch. And then PlayStation just kind of knocked it out of the park. You know, starting with this generation, they're really consumer friendly, this and that, and it's almost like now it's kind of like a really shift, because like Microsoft is becoming like very pro consumer, and Sony's becoming like really anti consumer, because you know they're
getting
top.
way more kind of proprietary based, where it's like yeah, like they're on the top, and like no one can really mess with them right now. And so you know, from Sony's point of view, you know, like Fortnite, for example, Fortnite does make the most money on PlayStation, has the most traction on PlayStation. So, you know, I think for them, they see it as like, you know, we don't want, you know, our people to go over here and play on Xbox when they can, you know, buy stuff on Xbox and get that cut, or buy stuff on Nintendo and get that cut. And then it's almost like, you know, they really don't, as much as I love to see it, of course, you know, they don't really need to do crossplay. Like, Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft, necessarily they don't need it, but it's really great for them to you know have that pro consumer like mentality. But PlayStation is just like, we're the king, we're on top, you know, screw you guys.
Yeah,
it really sucks for everybody, you know.
Oh yeah, and Rocket League was the exception. Sony wanted to do it with PC at first, but the problem is everybody wanted it. They wanted crossplay. I mean, Rocket League wanted crossplay between every console, but Sony has always said no. They said only the PC, because that's the only way we're going to do it. And then,
well, that's all that they still do now, right? Like Fortnite, you can still do crossplay, but only like PS4 and PC. You can't have
and Switch, or soon to be Switch, and mobile.
Oh, so you can do PlayStation and Switch now?
No, PlayStation is
no PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation doesn't interact with anybody right now.
Well, except for PC.
Yeah. So everything but consoles is pretty much.
But PC is not really a competitor to PlayStation, so that I can see why. You know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
all that.
Street Fighter crosses with PC as well. Oh wait, from PS4.
Yeah, PS4 and the PC, they don't care about that. It's just when you get to PS4 and then console crossplay.
Yeah, they don't want to crossplay with like Xbox, which is mainly like that's their big one.
Yeah. Like they just don't want to play friendly, and everybody's like, "All right, cool, let's be friends, guys." So like, now we're seeing this with Minecraft. I have no doubt in my head that Nintendo and Microsoft are going to go crazy with all their crossplay stuff. I mean, if they're already starting it with Minecraft,
honestly, Sony's going to have to they're going to end up having to play catch up on that. I feel like they're like, you know, they're doing what they can now to hold on to that market share. You know what I'm saying? Because like they have that big player base and everything else, and they're doing what they can to hold on to it. But eventually, people are just going to be like, "Well, this is bullshit." You know?
Yeah, I mean,
as new consoles come out, you know, it's like people are going to remember this stuff. You know, like when the next gen consoles come out, people are going to be like, you know, I liked my PlayStation and everything, but man, they were pretty like stupid about doing the crossplay and everything else. Maybe I'll go with the Xbox this time.
And that's the thing, is it's not like the technology is lacking. Like a couple times accidentally, Rocket League has become crossplay with everybody, and they're like, "Oh well, Sony threw a and then Sony threw a shade at them."
Been there for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
They just don't want to enable it. It's literally
ages and ages.
Like in terms of code, it's literally a 3-character fucking change. 3 characters, yes or no.
Not that. Yeah, it's really not that. It's not even that different, because like for example, like take a game like even just Destiny, just for the example of it, right? Because it's on various platforms. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on PC. Well, like when they're developing and they're testing and stuff, they're not they do test it on the different platforms and everything, but like the actual servers are just the servers. The servers aren't tied to the platform that the client, you know what I'm saying, the client that the people play on. And by client,
except in the terms of the only ones that are entirely separate are Microsoft, because they give them dedicated servers. For every game that comes out on Xbox in this generation anyway, they give it full dedicated servers. for that ties into live platform. So it'll still interact with everything just the same. Like PC, I know has some like they have their own like set of dedicated, then they have a pool, I think.
So, but that's like I think a good way to think about it though is like I could be on a Mac and you could be on a Windows machine, and we could both be looking at the exact same website.
Oh yeah.
Servers like back end and front end are completely different. You know, they work in tandem with each other and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like you can be on a phone or whatever device, the client, the front end. But you're still communicating on Facebook with somebody on the same servers. You know what I'm saying? So like they're different. So the technology has been there for a long time where where people can could play cross console. It's just that because of proprietary reasons they don't want to do it. But it's getting broke open now. So
and the more they do, it's gonna be different.
I think it's a good thing.
The thing with Minecraft that I noticed is with Minecraft on Switch, you do have to sign in with your Microsoft account, your Xbox account. I feel like Sony really doesn't want that to happen. So I can kind of understand that. I wish that maybe Minecraft could have like its own maybe login account thing, something like that, where it's not directly tied to Xbox, Microsoft, but then they own Minecraft, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But like with Fortnite, man, it's just really dumb. Like crossplay, I really hope and pray it happens sometime soon with all these consoles, but I think it's going to take some time if it does happen. But the whole like the account locking thing is like that Sony's doing is really dumb. Like they need to fix that ASAP, because like the fact that people that play on PlayStation can't take their accounts over to Switch or Xbox.
That is bad. That is really bad. And that's not even their account either. Like if it was their accounts or something like that, I can understand. But the fact that they can't use now they're locked to that platform. Like they can't even go on PC if they wanted to, which is what they allow right now, right? So it's just stupid.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, I really hope that eventually, like as Pleb was saying, that we need a future where everything is crossplay, because like to have this like years ago, like to play with people that were on PlayStation when I mainly was on Xbox and stuff like that would have been amazing. And even to have it now, like it would be so amazing. Like you shouldn't have to be tied to a specific console just to play with like your friends there. It should be just hey, you're on Xbox, cool, I'm on PlayStation, let's link up, let's play some Fortnite, this and that. Like
I think it's gonna start becoming the standard, because now people realize that like there shouldn't be a barrier no matter what you're playing on. There shouldn't be a barrier because we're all playing on the same servers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And now that people are aware of that, people are going to be like, why is this not cross-platform?
Yeah. And another big thing that we really didn't have on our show notes today, but it happened on Friday as kind of a big thing. A ton of streamers, like something close to around 4,000, I heard in the end, got DMCA banned on Friday. A 24-hour temporary DMCA ban for playing music they weren't supposed to. And one of the biggest ones was coming, I guess, from Douche World. From a lot of the big streamers, because it's requested a lot from Fortnite streamers. And Tanichi just posted in the chat just a second ago the tweeted and said, hey, I apologize for the people that got banned for streaming while playing music. But it's funny, so this is actually something I posted about last night on our own Twitter. Like, I'm still not understanding why Twitch hasn't made a statement towards that yet, regardless if it was them or not. Like, we know it's not them, it was the labels that were doing it. But at the same time, like, why haven't they made a statement on that yet? Like, that's really, like, almost kind of pissing me off to the point where I'm like, come on, Twitch, like, we look to you. You guys have the largest streaming community base of any platform, but you can't make simple statements on why people, and not just a little bit of people, a lot of people got banned for 24-hour bans, for DMCA bans, which they've never done, ever, in the past. They only...
Yeah, and there were, like, some big streamers that got...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a couple of the... Cloud9 guys.
Daquan or something like that. I think he got hit with it too.
Yeah, and then like a couple Cloud9 guys got banned. Kitty Plays, which has been on Twitch since the original Justin TV days. Like a lot of big streamers, and then a lot of smaller ones we didn't even get to hear about because it just happened to them and they had no choice.
Yeah, this is really weird. I really hope to hear something from Twitch soon as well, because I feel like a lot of streamers now, even me, I'm like, shoot, I'm going to play it safe and just play royalty-free music for now.
Yep, that's what I've been
I don't want to
doing.
get banned.
That's what I've been doing the last 2 nights now since I heard about that.
I mean, and we a lot of streamers have been having this conversation lately too, especially now that Microsoft has been putting a ton of money into mixers. Like, people are wondering, like, DMCA bans, like all this random stuff that's happening with, you know, like there's just a huge influx of people. You know, you're not being able to grow because of saturation and stuff like that. Is other platforms really worth it now? And stuff like this that happens makes people think that more.
These bans are honestly, they're just stupid though too, because it's like people aren't going to Twitch so that they can like specifically listen to music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a pirate site where you're going there to freaking download shit that you can get for free. You know, like that you should be paying for somewhere else. People are just listening to music while playing video games. You know, like,
well, even
I
then,
like doing a song request night every now and again on my stream, and now you can't even do that for your viewers and shit because get a fucking ban.
well, not even that. Like, even a lot of the times that I play music that's not copyright free, I'm using it through a service that I'm paying for to begin with.
Right.
Like, I'm usually playing it through Spotify or something, like, you know, I pay for it every month just to use.
Yeah, I pay for YouTube Red, and I'm still doing like the royalty free music on there, even though I'm paying for a freaking service. You know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like we're not like, you know, it's not like we're trying to throw it out there for the world. No, it just happens to be going while we're entertaining another audience. Yeah, it's true. Like, now the Twitch channel itself is not paying again or licensing again for that content. Now, like, not like Monster Cat or something like that, which is awesome. Like, I love their music. Yeah. It does, you know, I can only do it for so long before I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play something else now.
Yeah, you do like a Monster Cat playlist. It's like, it's good for a while, and then you're like,
yeah.
Songs are exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
All that electronic music, good, but
yeah,
you know, I feel
it's
the
good,
same.
but you can only listen to it for so long.
But yeah, it's definitely like its own weird thing that's been coming about, and I don't know how I feel, to be honest, about some of that stuff that's been happening with a lot of the Twitch stuff. Like, I mean, I understand when affiliates got a little bit more recently, like they get faster payouts, and now they get sub badges and stuff like that. That's an awesome thing. The problem, or the people that were upset about the affiliates getting that, is that the line between between affiliate and partner are becoming blurred, but the entry level for affiliate is really the problem. Like,
yeah, they could maybe raise the barrier for entry a little bit. I got to be honest with you though, like I mean, I understand why people would get upset in some aspects, but like, here's the deal: if you're working more at Twitch, you're gonna get more out of it. If you're working less at it, you're gonna get less out of it. And I know like affiliates that grind way harder than a lot of partners, and there's some affiliates out there that are pulling better viewership numbers than other partners out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there shouldn't be that much of a gap. Like, it's nice that they are kind of extending some of these benefits to affiliates, because like it gives affiliates a chance to try and actually make a living out of it. You know, like some people are trying to make a living out of streaming, and it's hard. And you know, having that extra stuff is good. You know, like why would you sub to somebody, like if you're subbing just to get emotes, you know, like why would you sub to somebody who you get one emote for $5 when you can sub to somebody for the same amount and get like 50 fucking emotes, you know? Like,
yeah.
So I think it's good, but they could also maybe add extra perks onto partners or something like that.
Oh, and they definitely do. I mean, like the sub badges alone is one of the biggest ones. Like affiliates get 3.
I'm happy about
but
that.
depending on how long you've been a partner, like INN here, for example, they have 11 tiers of sub badges.
I think we get 6 actually. Affiliates get 6.
No, 3
badges.
3.
You sure?
Yep. Because it's based on the time that the affiliate program has been out. That's what was in their official announcement.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at it again.
So it's just like the initial 3-month, initial 6-month in a year, I think was the 3, or it was 4. I don't know. I can't remember. It's not that many though. It's like a fraction of what the partners get.
Damn, I had a dude make a whole shitload for me.
Hey, I mean, you just save them for later.
I guess I'm prepared for later.
It's 5. It's
it's 5.
Sub, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
They put 2 years in there?
It was more, dude.
Really?
I think it's great. I can't wait until I'm able. I got them all ready. They're on deck, dude. I'm just waiting for them.
Where is the one for the affiliate one? Because I know that's the partner one. That's the old partner one.
Yeah, I think this is the affiliate one. Hold on.
Are you just looking at the subscriber badge guide?
I was looking at this affiliates page, but let me check the little post they put out about it.
Yeah, it was something like that, but it's definitely pretty interesting to see what they're finally doing with it, which is awesome in the end. But man, like,
yeah, I think it's great. I think that like, yeah, they could maybe raise the barrier to entry because like 3 average viewers is pretty freaking. That's like,
well, if 50 followers and three viewers, like anybody could become affiliate, which is good for them. I mean, they make money off of it. Granted, that's awesome, but like at the same time, if you want to have it be meaningful and have partners not be so upset about it, like raise the bar to like maybe 500 followers and 10 average viewers, which really, I mean, in reality isn't that hard to reach.
500 seems like a lot, honestly.
But it also means they're working towards it too. Like this, the people are actually like dedicated to it. Not the, you could get 50. You could just do one of these follow trains and have 50 overnight, and then you'd have 3 lurkers, and boom, you're already affiliate. Like it's you could get it in days.
Yeah, that's true. I will say this though, like when I very first started streaming, I've had a lot of nights, back then where it was like you couldn't even get 3 average viewers, dude. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're playing a game like Fortnite or something where there's like 12,000 people streaming it and you're at the bottom of all of those,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they could go up a little bit more. Like 5 average viewers, I think would make more sense.
Yeah, like even 5 even.
You kind of have like, because like if you have 3 average viewers, that's like you watching yourself on 2 screens and then one person.
Basically, yeah, basically, and that's the thing. It's crazy. It's just like, yeah.
But I'm not mad. Even if I was a part, I don't think I'd be mad at it.
No, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I'm glad that people get more. Like the payout thing makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like in reality, they just get everybody on the same payment system and they're done. Like instead of having just 2 separate.
Yeah, the payout thing makes a hell of a lot of sense. I don't know why they would pay people like at different times like that. It seems like logistically from their end would be a pain in the ass too.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much all it amounts to for the most part. But yeah, I think we're pretty much wrapped up for today. I mean, we covered quite a lot more than I thought we would.
See?
We did, yeah.
But any final words for the day, guys?
Don't let your meatloaf. That's all I got.
Don't let your meatloaf.
Don't let your meatloaf.
Alrighty, guys and gals. Thank you all so much for joining us today. If you guys haven't checked out all the streamers here on the show, definitely check out Captain 22, Potato Pleb, and myself, RuneShift Gaming. If you guys haven't done so, the links are just right below on our nameplates. But yeah, hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Goodbye. Thanks for joining.